Hello everybody! Different type of video today. A little bit of a reflection, just talk about why I support these four teams. What these cities and these teams mean to me, because there's a lot of different teams in Ohio and there's a lot of different sports combinations that people have with their teams. And I have mine. I'm sure you guys have yours. Some of you guys may stick to a city, some of you guys may stick to a different combination of cities, but at the end of the day, we're all Ohio sports fans, and whatever appreciation you have for your teams, it's all worth it, man. But I'm going to give you my 2 cents on what they're worth to me. So let's dive into it, man. Starting off with Cincinnati, Ohio. This is definitely my strongest bond because obviously I grew up with the Bengals and the Reds. Any of you guys that support any of these teams, you guys know it's been a major roller coaster of emotions. I mean, it's like up, down over the last few years especially. I mean, both these teams have been competitive over the last few years, which is, as sad as this sounds, great strides than even the prior few years prior when both teams were fighting to be out of last place in their division. So having that competitive season is great, but at the end of the day, both these teams are looking to get over that hump, and I'm hoping that one of them do soon, if not both of them, man. So, the wins, I wanted to talk about that. I mean, the teams, they do test my patience and they piss me off to no end, but it also teaches me loyalty as part of being a sports fan. I mean, if you stop watching a team, if you give up on a team, can you really call yourself a fan at the end of the day? And that's why no matter what, I support both these teams through major, thick, and thin. No matter what I say, no matter what I do, I get pissed off at them. I'll always be a fan. I'll always be here no matter what. And, I just look forward to seeing if we can soon get over that hump. I mean, being in the playoffs for the Bengals was a expectation coming in for the season. That didn't happen, so it's going to come down to what changes they make so that they can be back next year for the first time in 3 years. So then you look at the Reds. I mean, they had playoff expectations in 2020. They made it, but didn't really go far. And then obviously 2021, they kind of hit a downward spiral. 2022, they blew it up. Went 62-100. Following year, they came back, won 20-plus more games. Unfortunately, they took a little bit of a downward spiral again. Losing Matt McClain and losing a lot of guys to injury, that really hindered this team. So, with the new hiring manager of Terry Francona, I'm hopeful and optimistic, but you never know. But there's nothing like celebrating fellow fans who get the pain, especially in this city. I mean, they know the struggle that both these teams have gone through. The teams, they test the patient majorly. And seeing Ohio people that may not be a fan of these two teams, but they get behind them. I mean, I know a lot of Guardians fans, they claim the Reds as their NL team. I always say, if I had to pick like an AL team or second favorite or third favorite, whatever it is, I would pick the Guardians just because I feel like they, I understand their pain a little bit. I mean, they've had far more success than the Reds have over the last few years, but blowing a 3-1 lead to the Chicago Cubs in 2016, I understand that type of pain. But it's been a roller coaster, and it makes me appreciate winning a lot more when these teams win, or even appreciating some of the other teams that I have, which I'll get into. It makes me appreciate those victories also a little bit more. But, like I said, at the end of the day, it's all about winning, and hopefully these two teams can get there someday on top of the world. Moving on to Cleveland. So, obviously, I am a huge Cleveland Cavs fan. That 2016 championship, man, absolute chills. I mean, against all odds, down 3-1 to a 73-9 team. It inspired me myself. Like, that's why that championship, obviously that's my only pro sports championship that I've seen of my teams and stuck with me forever. It's been 8.5 years, almost 9 years since that happened, which I still can't believe. But every time I see that, watch some of the footage from that game, it's like, myself, I get inspired. Not only is it my team, but it's like the journey that team went on and took us all on throughout that entire season, and particularly in that series. I mean, you can't write something better than that. I mean, I started playing basketball a lot more. I mean, I used to hoop every now and then, in the past, but it made me love basketball a lot more, and that's why I just loved this Cavs team and this franchise. And, talk about this current Cavs team, I mean, this is the most fun I've ever had watching them. We need a second ring, man. This year, Hopefully we get it with D-Mitch, DG, and the crew. I would just love nothing more. And, we got the Thunder coming up in our next game, so hopefully we can beat them again. Just a lot of exciting and great times ahead for Cleveland Cavaliers fans. And, yeah, me being from Ohio and this being the only Ohio NBA team, of course that's a lot of the reason why I root for this franchise. But, an Ohio son, LeBron James, gets drafted by an Ohio team, brings Cleveland their first title in 52 years and brings a championship to his hometown and his home state. It's like, how can I not be a Cavs fan? That's just like a remarkable story, and especially that last game, winning it on another team's home floor, that being the Golden State Warriors. It's such an amazing, amazing accomplishment for our franchise, for Cleveland, and just the state of Ohio as a whole. And that just makes me very proud to be a Cavs fan, and that's the affiliation I have with Cleveland. And I gotta say this, been to 2 games, one being a Cavs playoff game, and the other being against the Lakers earlier this year. We won both of them in absolute routing fashion. We won both games by 20 plus, I believe. But as far as the other teams in Cleveland, I root for the Guardians as well here and there. At the end of the day, the Reds are my team. That's my team that I grew up around that area. But, as far as the AL teams, I'll root for the Guardians as well. They root for us. I know a lot of Guardian fans, as I said earlier in the video, they root for the Reds as their NL team. I think it's just an Ohio thing. And unfortunately, though, for Cleveland, don't get mad at me, but the Browns, I respect the cool, chill Browns fans who bond with me over the Cavs, and believe me, that's a lot of them. But some of the rowdy fans that I just can't stand, and I can't root for your team, man, unfortunately. I'm a Bengals fan, so obviously there's that in-state rivalry there, division rivalry. So, we would not probably exist without you guys. So we're pretty much, in a way, born to hate the Browns. But I still love the Cavs, and I root for the Guardians as well. So Cleveland really means a lot to me as not only a sports town, but it teaches me and teaches, I'm sure, many other people. It teaches them a little bit of, never give up and grit and just like inspiration as a whole. I feel like that's what that championship resonates with people as, other than it being a sports title. So the tie with Cleveland that I have is it just meant a lot, especially this 2016 championship and this current Cavs team, man. As I said, super fun to watch. I hope they can finish the deal, and that's mainly for Cleveland. And then Columbus, obviously, I grew up a big Buckeyes fan, being from Ohio, go to Ohio State, so it feels surreal to just be able to go to the school that I grew up watching, loving Ohio State football as a whole. And the Buckeyes, honestly, they make me very proud to be in Ohio, and it gives me a little bit of a sense of appreciation. The Cavs are great. The Bengals and Reds, they're great. All 3 of them, I love those teams. But the Buckeyes, I feel like they inflict a sense of pride and unity. I feel like all of Ohio gets behind the Bucks. Whether that be Cincy, whether that be Cleveland, whether that be Columbus, whether that be any Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest, Central. A lot of elation and excitement for the Buckeyes now. One win away from the ultimate goal. How can anybody not be excited about that? So, having those ties, regardless of teams and rivalries, I feel like majority of us, we get behind this Ohio State Buckeyes team, and we're going to all be behind them a week from now. So I hope we can finish the job, and I feel like that's going to bond with Buckeye fans a lot more. Hopefully we can get the Cavs and the Buckeyes winning the championship, both in 2025. That would be incredible. But, Ohio State, they just put the state together, I feel like, man. So a lot of appreciation for the Bucks, and obviously being a student here, it allows me to bond with the team and the program more. So love Columbus as well. And honestly, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, they all mean a lot to my sports fandom. All 3 in different ways. Cincinnati was where it all started, being a kid that grew up around that area, Reds and Bengals, and then becoming, obviously I grew up a big Cavs fan. That championship was just inspirational. The greatest championship in sports ever, I would argue. And then Columbus, man, obviously Ohio State Buckeyes are Ohio's team. They obviously play in Columbus. Around that area, around campus, it's just a great environment. And, it means a lot to my sports fandom, as I said. And I'm proud to rep this state, man. I know Browns fans are probably not too thrilled with me, but, with all due respect, it's all about the passion, the pride, the love. No matter what combo of teams you support, and there are a ton out there, believe me, I respect all you guys as fellow Ohioans. I respect the teams that you guys root for, the passion you guys show. That's why there's no place like the Buckeye State. It doesn't let you go too long. I know there's going to be some major turnaround. No matter what teams you support, there's going to be some turnaround. The Browns, the Indians, the Bengals, the Reds, the Buckeyes, the Cavs, everybody else. Just keep your head up and just keep repping, man. That's what the Buckeye State is for. It's for loyalty. And while I don't wish success on the Browns, hang in there. Nothing bad or good lasts forever. So anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. That's all I got to say about these 4 teams. As I said, these 4 teams, they mean a lot to my fandom. They mean a lot to me being a sports fan. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I would say all 4 of these teams, they piss me off. Particularly the 2 top teams that are from Cincinnati. I would say the Cavs and Buckeyes, they're doing a pretty good job of saving me from the city of Cincinnati because they were infuriating to watch in 2024. And, I'm hoping that the Cavs and Buckeyes can bring us some glory. Or bring me some glory, depending on if you guys support these teams. But need you guys to hit that like, comment, subscribe. The support is always appreciated. I always appreciate all you guys. Whether you're from the Buckeye State, whether you're from anywhere else, hit that like, hit that comment, hit that subscribe. Wanted to dive on here and just talk about these teams. You guys have a great one. Go Reds, go Bengals, go Cavs, and go Buckeyes. OHIO.